Hello everyone, welcome back to another Doctor Who figure related video. In today's Doctor Who figure related video we have more figure news. This time it is round 2 of the B&M figure set. So if you've just finished the quest for wave 1, well, it's time to begin the hunt again as we're talking about the 3 sets. So I'll do my usual rundown on sort of talk about the set, and then we'll do what character options have done to make these new sets. So we've got the Deadly Assassin set, we've got Remembrance of a Dalek set, and we've got a set from Doomsday. So let's dive in to the actual figures themselves. So the first set I'm going to talk about is the 3-pack, which is the Deadly Assassin set containing Lord Borusa, Chancellor Goff, and the 4th Doctor in Time Lord robes. Now, this is giving me Dapple energy, this set, having sort of all Time Lord figure sets, just sort of all being Time Lord figures. But yeah, I think that it was rumoured to be the Lord President, so Borusa's a nice little surprise, and it's great to have, you know, a new sort of Time Lord figure colour scheme, which is very nice. And obviously we've got 2 new heads for the 4th Doctor and Chancellor Goff. Now the 4th Doctor is going to make for a nice little variant to have on the shelf, and quite a visually striking one. I think the render on the 4th Doctor, when you've just got them out of the box, doesn't really do the head sculpt any justice. I think the ones where the figures are in the box I like a lot more, and you can see that definitely looks more like Tom Baker. I don't know if they've used the Terrible Zygon sort of head sculpt for it, and obviously sort of plugged in the sort of Time Lord cap over it. I mean, that would make sense, but I'm not too sure. I guess it's one of those things we'll have to wait and see when we get it. If we move to sort of Goff, this is a wild card figure. This has the same sort of energy as sort of Marcus Scarman. Like, who would have thought we would get a Chancellor Goff figure? So we've got sort of the second antagonist in the Deadly Assassin, and he'll look great next to your Decayed Master. So we'll do a quick little breakdown of this set in a minute, but it's interesting that the window has disappeared for the 3-packs, but they have gone sort of for the same design as the History of the Dalek set. So yeah, so if you're a person who likes to keep your figures in box, then this is probably not going to be ideal, because they're sort of all sealed in, so you can't sort of open them up, take them out and put them back in the box. So that is a little bit of a shame if you're an in-box collector. For me, as you can tell, doesn't really matter. I like opening the figures. But yeah, we'll do a little rundown on what character options have done to give us this set, which I think is pretty obvious what they've done. Doing a quick rundown on the Deadly Assassin set, it's essentially your Time Lord figure repainted in all the different sort of Time Lord housing. So obviously Borusa is essentially the closest repaint, and that doesn't have a new head, so it is the Series 3 Time Lord, just painted sort of in a purple colour. And of course the 4th Doctor is just a new 4th Doctor head, I believe, on the Time Lord body, and the same with Chancellor Goff as well. So yeah, quick little rundown on that. It's your Time Lord figure from Series 3. Huzzah! The second set I'm going to talk about is the Remembrance of the Dalek set 15, which contains a Renegade Dalek and the Supreme Dalek. Now, this set we saw on the initial September B&M lineup, and yeah, we can see the new sort of style guide packaging with the colour scheme, with this being more purple, which I think I predicted in my review on, I think the Necros Daleks, I think I mentioned it, but the style guide for McCoy should be purple. But yeah, it seems like we've got I think it's a new eye stalk for the Renegade Dalek, and we've got the new dome light, what was seen on the Necros Daleks, and the same sort of oval section. But yeah, it's nice to get the more accurate sort of grey colour scheme to these Daleks for the Renegade, because I think they've been a little bit too darker, so this is more of a light chalky grey. And then we have one of the most sort of highly anticipated figures and sought after figures, which is Remembrance of a Dalek Supreme, which I have a lot of love for because I got the Product Enterprise remote control Dalek, and that's sort of the closest Dalek to that. This looks like a vast improvement on the Forbidden Planet version. We've got a more accurate eye stalk. It just looks a little better with a nice sort of sharp glossy black. But yeah, it looks like a really nice figure set. I mean, I know a lot of people probably were expecting sort of Imperials, but I guess we had the Imperials, I guess 3 years ago in the Cold Hill School set, so I think it's about time the Renegade Daleks got a bit of love. But yeah, this looks like it's going to be a really nice set and a much improved, tweaked version of the originals, which of course we'll take a look at the originals now. So for the Remembrance of a Dalek set, so we've got the two Renegade Daleks, and I believe we've got the new oval section from the new Necros Dalek, and we have a new eye stalk, and of course we have the updated dome lights from the Necros Dalek set there. So yeah, you can see the colour difference, but this is a lot more of a darker grey, where we've got the more accurate sort of chalky, dusty sort of grey on there, and we do have a new eye stalk. You can see the evolution of the Dalek eye stalks there for the Renegades. But yeah, very nice. We've got the updated new mesh from last year's Dalek set. And then we have the Supreme Dalek, so we've got a lot more of a vibrant orange on the newer dome lights, a new eye stalk, and of course the new oval section, the same as the Necros Dalek. So yeah, very nice to finally get that updated, because yeah, I think this was a common problem with these sort of Daleks around the time of the Forbidden Planet ones, where the eye stalks were sort of a little bit all over the place and quality control was an issue. So hopefully that will be rectified with the new B&M one. So it'd be great to get a tweaked version of this Dalek overall. And the final set is the History of a Dalek set 16 and 17, which is Doomsday. So this is our first taste of the new series Daleks in the History of a Dalek set lineup, and this is what I think people have been wanting for a long time, mainly for Dalek Sec. As Dalek Sec, this sort of the newer Dalek sculpt for the new series Daleks. It's wrong to say newer sculpt, but the 2008 Dalek sculpt, what was first seen in the Stolen Earth set. You know, a lot of people have been wanting a Dalek Sec, and it was locked behind a US set, the American Doomsday set, which I have, and I'll show you that in a minute. So it's great for that to be more accessible for UK people. Again, we can see the sort of colour change with a more lighter blue, more reminiscent of sort of the RTD sort of character options packaging from the sort of mid 2000s. And then we have a standard gold Dalek, which seems to have a nice bit of weathering on there, a nice bit of wash, and it has sort of a grey fender and a little bit of bronze above the fender, which I think's interesting. I can't remember if the Daleks had that in there, or it's just a little bit of artistic license there. But yeah, the grey fender reminds me very much of the Dalek Battle Pack Daleks, what had the grey fender. But yeah, so I see sort of the bronze Dalek get a bit of weathering, because I think that's when they look really, really cool. But yeah, this is a pretty nice set overall, I have to say. And it's nice to see the new series Daleks. Whether we'll get a Parting of the Way set, which I think there's so many Dalek variants we can get from that. And it's interesting actually, I've just noticed with the gold Dalek that they haven't painted the ball joints, but they are in gold. They're gold. So that's interesting. Yeah, I don't know if that's just what's happened on the actual thing. I'm just going to see if I can see in the box photo whether that has the gold ball joints, and it looks like it does actually. So yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, an interesting bunch overall. So let's take a look at the Dalek Sec and the gold Dalek. Next up we have the Doomsday set, which of course has Dalek Sec and your progenitor Dalek. So I think we've got a sort of a lighter gold colour for the bronze Dalek, and we've got a lot more weathering. As you can see, this is quite pristine. We have the silver fender with a little bit of gold paint on there. So yeah, nice little tweaks, and of course the gold ball joints there. But yeah, very much your standard bronze Dalek. And I think Dalek Sec, I think it's just a straight up re-release from the US version. I don't think there's anything different to it. I just think it is a Dalek Sec done for the UK. So hopefully the quality of the B&M Dalek Sec's a lot better than the American one, because the American one just feels quite brittle and a little bit scared to move it. As you can see, it's just a little bit just seems a little bit fragile. So yeah, that's a quick little rundown on what's different with those. So there we have it. That is my quick little rundown on the B&M November-October line. I think these will probably come out in November. I think they're priced at the standard B&M price, which I think is £21.99. Yeah, a very interesting bunch, and this is obviously the last lot of B&M sets. So we've seen a reduced number of B&M sets, but I think that this has been a lot more worthwhile. We've got some new variants, like, you know, a new Tom Baker, Chancellor Goff, I think, and just some very overall, you know, I will do a video talking about the B&M as a whole this year, and obviously do my top 10 figures. But yeah, I have to say this is a pretty strong wave. If you like your Daleks, you're going to have a fun time, and to get some highly sought after Daleks in your collection, what more can you want? And some more colourful Time Lords to sort of add a bit more colour to the shelf. So if you've enjoyed this video, then please do like and subscribe, because there's plenty of Doctor Who figure related content coming up on the channel, like reviews of these sets, and of course some yesteryear reviews as well. So yes, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time in my next video. Bye bye.